Hi there, I'm Fallon Bader and I'm a registered dietitian. And today I'm going to show you how to make the very popular right now pumpkin spice latte. So this drink has been made pretty famous by Starbucks. And it's fall, pumpkin is really just nice and popular right now. And while pumpkin spice lattes they're pretty good. They're pretty tasty. They can often be really sweet. They add a lot of sweetener. And they can just be expensive. I think they go for about like $4 or $5 depending on like what size you get. So I'm going to show you how you can make one at home today. All right, so let's get to it. First things first, you're going to need some sort of coffee. So a latte usually means that they're using espresso, which is a really strong brewed coffee. You could also just use regular coffee and just brew it really strong, which means that you're using more beans to less water. If you don't drink coffee, you could always do a black tea here, really any kind of base that you want. And you want about like 1/3 to 1/2 of a cup of your coffee. Start off with that. So I've got that here. And then next, we're going to add the pumpkin. So in our recipe, we're actually going to use real pumpkin puree. So about 1 tablespoon of pumpkin puree. And my coffee is still nice and hot. So that's going to help the pumpkin just dissolve into your cup here. And I'm just using pumpkin puree from a can like this. You can just buy a can. You can also buy a pumpkin, roast it until the flesh is nice and soft and use that. That would be, even better. And I also wanted to show you a little trick. If you have leftover pumpkin puree, you can put it in, this is just a little like silicone ice cube container, and then you can just pop them out, freeze them, and then you can pop them out and use them as you need. Because sometimes you just don't use the whole can, and then you don't know how to store the rest of it. So freeze it in little serving ice cubes, and then you can pop them out and use them as you need. You can also just freeze them and then pop them out and put them in a bag too in the freezer. Okay, next we're going to talk about sweetener. So when you get often a lot of lattes and drinks and such at something like a Starbucks, they add a lot of sweetener. So today we're going to be able to control how much sweetener we use because we're making it at home. So you got a couple options here. I have some regular maple syrup, and then I also have this brand. It's called Latte, and it's made from monk fruit, which is a alternative sweetener, right? So there's going to be no actually grams of sugar in it. And this brand tastes pretty good. So it's kind of up to you whether you want to go completely sugar-free or just more of a natural sweetener like maple syrup. So you want about 1 to 2 teaspoons of your sweetener. So I'm going to start with 1 actually. Maple syrup tends to be pretty sweet, and also pumpkin has natural sweetness in it as well. So you can always start and add more, right? So I'm going to start with 1 teaspoon of maple syrup. Then next, we're going to add some vanilla extract, which just adds some nice vanilla flavor. And for the vanilla extract, we want 1/2 teaspoon. There we go. And then we're going to add some pumpkin pie spice. So often you can get pumpkin pie spice in the spice aisle at any grocery store. I got this from the bulk section at Sprouts, and I love buying spices in bulk when I can because it's just more cost effective. Sprouts has a really great selection if you're local in Albuquerque, or the co-op is good too. So pumpkin pie spice usually has ginger, cloves, cinnamon, and what's the last one? Hold on, I have a note right here. And nutmeg, that's the last one, nutmeg. So right, all those really nice warming fall spices. You can make your own too if you have all those spices. So just 1/4 teaspoon. We don't need too much because those are some nice strong flavors. Mix that up really well. And we've got our base now. Oh wait, we just need a pinch of salt. Literally just a little pinch, not much. you don't really want to taste the salt. You just want the salt to help bring out the other flavors. All right, so that's done. Then the last thing we're going to do is oftentimes when you get a latte, it is steamed, right? So that means that they froth the milk so it gets nice and steamy. So you could, like, I've seen recipes where they just heat up the milk with the coffee in like a saucepan, and that's fine. But if you want to go a little fancy, I have one of these little foamers, and they're like 10-15 bucks. They're not that expensive, and in the long run, if it helps you to make more drinks at home, then it can be cost effective. So what these you do is you stick it in, you turn it on, and you just kind of, it just creates air in the milk, which helps to add some of that foam and steam. So for the milk, you could really use any milk that you like. I used a soy milk here. I've used oat milk, works really well. And the milk is going to help to add, some creaminess, which is, I think, what makes a latte is getting that nice creamy milk in there. But you're also going to get some extra nutrients from adding the milk too. A lot of milks, even if they're not a cow's milk, they add calcium and vitamin D into the milk, which is a nice benefit. Also, I forgot to mention that pumpkin is a great source of carotenoids, which are a great antioxidant, and vitamin A. So this drink is really packed with lots of nutrients. All right, so can you guys see how much the milk, right? It's like doubled in size. So now we're just gonna put everything together. So I'm just gonna take my milk, pour it in. I have a little extra milk. This cup's a little bit small, but I wanted to use one big enough so that I could kind of show you like in a clear glass. And then lastly, you could just take a little bit of your pumpkin pie spice and just put a little bit on top just to make it kind of look nice and pretty. And there you have it. I'm gonna try it. Let's see if it needs anything else. Yummy. It's so creamy and well spiced and just has a lot of really good flavor. So there you go. Homemade pumpkin spice latte. Let me know what you guys think.
Cooking for Health. A community cooking class brought to you by First Choice Community Healthcare, Agricultura Cooperative Network, La Cosecha, and other valued community partners. Thank you for watching. Tune in for the next fun and healthy recipe from Cooking for Health.